Hello, namaste, beloved twin flames and light workers. I am Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming out to you from India. And I'm just going to let you know that am actually doing a little bit of clearing at the moment. I've got a bit of an ascension flu going on, which I will actually talk about. I'm just going to be real and, because I'm with you on this journey, and I put up these videos because I feel the need to share what I'm going through as a healer and as a light worker and as a twin flame, in order to help others to make sense of their own process and to share with you, to know that you're not alone, and to confirm maybe some of the things that you're going through, and to also offer my support and my love and my light to you out there. So hello, if you've just joined me as a new person on the channel, thanks for tuning in and listening, and hello to everyone, and thank you for those of you that are continually supporting me and avid watchers of Divine Light's channel. Thank you very much. So yeah, there's quite a lot going on, and I've got lots to talk about. I want to try and sort of bring it in some kind of order to try and make sense of it all, but who knows, we might end up going here and there, so we'll just see what happens. So first of all, I'm just going to talk about what it is that I've been clearing in myself personally, and how that's related to the collective healing and clearing that's going on for many right now, as we're in these energies planetarily around the energy of healing and clearing, and looking at some of those deep buried things that are coming up that we've had, beliefs that we've had that we didn't even realize that we had, that were subconscious, that were actually holding us back or keeping us in a state of fear, that we're actually needing to heal. So I'm just going to talk about that process a little bit and how that works for me, in the hope that that will also help you. So I became aware of something very deep inside my throat, and I've had this experience before with this throat pain, and I was like, oh, here we go again. This is that same thing, and it feels like if I press down, it goes right back to my neck and comes right down into my heart, and just feels really heavy on my shoulders and all around this area. It comes up as a cold as well. So whenever I have experienced pain in my physical body, or I feel something coming in, for me as a spiritual person, as a healer, I'll go into the message of what that pain is trying to tell me. So I'll be like, okay, what am I believing that's making me feel this way? And it does involve quite a bit of concentration and really giving yourself that time and space to go in and check in with the message that this pain is trying to tell you. So of course you have to go into the pain, you have to experience the pain, which is counterintuitive to what a lot of us would want to do. We've been taught if you've got pain, you find relief. You go and get Panadol, or you find medicine, or you just lie down and, just do what you need to do to avoid it or fight it. That's the other way that I was taught as well. So going actually deep into it to find out what the message is quite different. So when I really pressed hard on that throat, I could hear a little message inside of myself, and it was saying, love hurts. Love hurts. People always give you love, but it's not love, it's pain. Love is pain. And so I was like, oh, what's all this about? Where did all this come from? And I was kind of getting annoyed, because I was like, I thought I've done a lot of this healing, of course. And so what I felt it was, what I tuned into a little bit more, is that my first experience of life as a small child was being born into, first of all, a situation where I was an unwanted baby. I was the product of, my mum was very young at the time. She was 18, and she got into a situation with my dad. They did decide to get married and continue on with their relationship, and to have me, and went on to have 2 other children, and are still together to this day. So it worked out pretty well for them. But in the early days, it was pretty stressful for my mum as a young mum, dealing with this little baby that's come into the world with a lot of stress around the situation. And she herself also was carrying a lot of pain from her childhood and her past. She's adopted. And so what happened was a lot of her emotional stress and pain just got put onto me. So this is another thing that this is related to, this healing was related to what happens is one of the mechanisms that people will do in order to avoid their own pain is to project it onto others. Now, it's very common, but it's something that we haven't really paid a lot of attention to, but it's becoming more obvious now. We're actually seeing it more clearly. Before we didn't know what was happening, and now we know. We've actually uncovered this tactic that people use to try and avoid their own pain. So what happened throughout my life is that was something that became a pattern for me, was to receive other people's pain and emotional hurt and suffering as if it was my fault. So it must be my fault, I've done something wrong. And I took that through into all of my romantic partnerships and relationships. So whenever my romantic partner was experiencing their pain, I was very uneasy and thought it was something that I'd done, and what did I need to do to fix it. And so what was happening with this healing coming through the last couple of days in my throat related to my heart was this complete healing. So it was coming up as that whatever's been projected onto me, and these are all people that said that they loved me, or people that should love me. This is how they were acting towards me. It was as if, so thereby I received this information and interpreted what was happening as if the people that loved me, that they didn't love me because I was doing something wrong, and they were projecting their pain onto me and blaming me for their own emotional pain and hurt. So you can see how, obviously I needed to change that belief. First of all, there was sort of two ways of looking at that, and that was, one was that people show have different ways of showing love, and that may not necessarily mean that they don't love you. It's just that that's how they show love. So that was at number one, taking out the expectation of what love needed to look like, because what I was also doing, the other side of that, was that part of me also knew that this wasn't really what love should be, and I've always been looking for this version of love that was beautiful and nice and special, and I never seemed to be able to get that. So so I had to let go of this deeply hidden belief that was saying love is pain, and to dissolve that and heal that, and also not give back that pain to everyone else, because the other thing that some people like to do is they continue that energy on. So, and I've realised that I have taken on that projection myself, and I've given a lot of my own pain and wounding to the people closest to me at times during my life when I've been unconscious. So what we need to do is have the understanding as a healer that people are acting out because they don't know what to do with their pain. They must be in a lot of pain. So rather than say, oh, I'll take your pain, we can just give them an understanding. I understand. You don't have to say this directly to them. It's just an energy of understanding. I understand you're in a lot of pain right now. Let us dissolve and heal this pain that you're experiencing right now. Without taking it on board, we forgive it thereby, and we let it go, and we dissolve it, and we heal it. So I saw a lot of this sort of stuff that had been dumped on me. It was quite what was needing to come up and out, this toxicity. That's what these flus are for, It's to release some of this toxic pain and garbage that's stored in our bodies. So that was coming up, that was coming out, that was being healed, and then obviously replacing it with another belief, which is, and I have to be careful about this one too, because a lot of people I hear say in the communities, and I've said it too, I deserve love. I deserve love. And then again, we put another sort of layer over that, which is that it has to look a certain way. So what I wanted to say to myself is that, I deserve a love that is respectful and nice and caring and beautiful. And so just taking it to that next level and really feeling that into my being, that love is not just pain. That version of love was not love, that was pain, and love is not pain. So so just a little bit around that. I'm talking about this so that when you're going through your processes, it will help you. I've been listening to quite a lot of other a few other twin flame sort of healers and things out there, and there is a really wide range. And I'm not saying, you know, and that is fine. That is actually great, because why that's great is that wherever you are at on your healing journey, you've got someone that you can resonate with, you know. So there are certain people that I may have listened to earlier on in my journey that helped me at that time. And what I'm saying is I'm not wanting to cancel out that anyone is not, you know, people have moved on, we don't listen, we don't talk like that anymore, or at a certain level some people are really going to resonate with those messages and they are going to help them, you know, as we evolve through our journey. You know, it might be that we need other types of information, and you know, what I also want to say about that journey is that as we do evolve, it doesn't mean that we leave the rest behind either. So I just wanted to kind of mention that, because it's not a race. It's not about healing and then getting higher and being in this high vibration and going up and like, so, right, I've done that now, right, what's next? And, you know, actually what's next is, let's stop, take a pause, let's settle into the energy, let's anchor the energy, that this new energy that you're now in, because you have healed that aspect of yourself and you're in a new energy. Let's feel solid in that energy. And before you move to the next stage, how about helping someone else that's still coming through the other side? Because what can happen is, as we ascend and evolve, we can actually forget what it's like to be in those really heavy, dark, intense places where we're doing a lot of purging and healing and clearing. We need to remember we've got to help our brothers and sisters out there get through the tough times. And spiritual ascension is not just about being all light and love and high vibrational, and, you know, being perfect. It's actually about being really real and being authentic and being emotionally supportive to our brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to mention that as something that I've kind of noticed coming through. As tuning into the energies that are coming ahead, I got told to look out for a date that's coming up pretty soon, which is in about a week's time. We've got April 15th to 19th as kind of being highlighted to me. Often I'll get, when I look at the calendar ahead, my guides will be sort of like with flashing lights going, look out for that date there. That's kind of like a power date, or something energetic, is be aware that something's powerful there. So they're kind of showing me that as a bit of a windowed period, April the 15th to 19th. So as we are moving towards that date, it is a new moon during that week. So what I'm getting is that it's a very powerful time. It's a very powerful window of opportunity for manifestation. So some people worry about that when because they hear the messages that they're meant to be manifesting, they're meant to be in the space of manifesting. But a lot of people are doing a lot of clearing work at the moment. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm doing a lot of clearing and I'm in a dark place and I'm healing up my emotional problems at the moment and I just can't get out of bed and I'm feeling really lost, how will that affect my manifestation? So what I want to say to that is that if you've got two parts of you, okay, we've all got two parts to us, and that's again another part that I'm going to lead to in a minute. Is, you know, you could divide that up as the masculine or the feminine, or the left or the right, the dualistic aspect, the heart and the mind. You know, we've got many parts, but let's just say for simplicity at this point we've got these two parts. So we've got the true part of ourselves that's perhaps the part that is feeling that, you know, for example, the part of me that was, oh sorry, excuse me, hold on a second, we've got something going on here. Hey, sorry about that. My daughter's having a fun time with the dog, but it's right in the room next door. So sorry about that noise. And you know, apologies for any kind of noise that comes through on this video. As I mentioned, I am in India. I live on a sort of street that people like, I'm on a corner, so people like to beep when they get to the corner just to let everyone know that they're there. So now, where was I up to? I was talking about the two parts of self. And so we've got the part of the self that's feeling sad, lonely, upset, needing support and healing. And then we've got the other part of ourself that came in supposedly to protect us, but what it was actually doing was, this was the survival mechanism that came into place to keep us safe and to help us avoid any further pain. Traditionally, that's been, that's the fight, flight, freeze, obviously, but it's also kind of a judging voice that says, oh, we can't let people see us like that, so we need to make sure that we're all good. So it kind of comes through as kind of a judgy voice that says, you can't really go outside when you're in an emotional state. That's really bad. Like, you're supposed to be all love and light. You're supposed to be perfect. We can't let people see us like that. So what we're looking at doing is we're looking at changing that voice. This is the voice that actually needs to come in, another power, whether you change this voice or whether you get another voice that comes in to deal with this pain over here. So this is the voice that's going to say, and this is how we help our vibration, is I can see you're in a really, really painful place right now. It must be really hard for you. What can I do to help and support you? So you're holding yourself, you're supporting yourself, you're giving yourself the utmost compassion and love and kindness, rather than that, oh, it's new moon and you're supposed to be all good, and what if you're thinking bad thoughts? That's going to create, what are you going to manifest? You're going to keep creating bad stuff. You've already created bad stuff in your life, and now look what's going to happen. Okay, you can see the difference there. So if you're in an energy where you can hold yourself compassionately, that is going to raise your vibration. That is going to help you manifest more of that loving, peaceful, supportive, kind energy that you're needing for yourself right now. So, so I just wanted to talk to that. I hope that helps you. Now, as I was kind of transiting through that pain and healing that I've just been doing on projection and blame and people putting their stuff on you and all of that, which is huge, by the way. It's not just personal. I felt as if when I did that healing, I was doing it on behalf of the collective, because, not everybody, but a certain portion of the collective where this is playing out. Because as you can see, the projection and the blame happens not just in our personal lives and our family lives, but it happens to whole countries. Like, you've got governments that are saying, it's all China's fault, it's all Russia's fault, it's all those people's fault, or within its country, oh, it's those immigrants' fault, it's the lower caste people's fault. So it's, again, all that projection and blame. And even in the spiritual communities, I see that with, it's the Illuminati, and it's the governments that are controlling us with all the chemtrails and the mind control, manipulation. And you know what? I really think that some of that is actually our own inner fears that are just being projected out and having to be put somewhere else. Again, what happens when that takes place is that we lose responsibility. We lose our power because we're not taking responsibility. We've lost our ability to actually stand in our own power and say, oh, what is it that I need to actually heal inside of myself, instead of projecting it out onto something else. So sorry, there was another part to that healing which I didn't quite get to. I was hoping not to jump everywhere today, but sometimes it happens. Okay, so now the other thing that was coming up as well was around those, the beliefs around love. So the other thing that I was kind of getting through, that was almost being channeled to me really through spirit, was about how we create these ideas about love. And obviously, I have talked about this in previous videos, especially around the twin flame, that we've got to be really careful that we do not overlay some of the old 3D paradigm beliefs around love onto the twin flame. So some of these examples would be, people talk about love being forever and just, that you're with that person eternally forever. Now, that I got told, Spirit says, that's not love, that's control. That's control, wanting to control the situation and for it to be a certain way. For wanting it to be a certain way and expecting it to be this or that, again, that's where you've got an expectation. That's more of control. It's trying to control the situation and the outcome. Again, wanting to be close all the time and to be together all the time, because that's where you're meant to be with what you're meant to be doing with that person. Again, that's not love. That's a need, and that's needing to fill some gaps that you've got in yourself and a dependency situation. So we've got to be really careful how we use the labels of love, because sometimes what we're actually just wanting is nice. I just want it to be nice, and so if we want nice, why don't we just say, I want nice, not I want love, because we've got to be careful with love, because Spirit's interpretation of love sometimes is tough love. It's like, okay, so I love you. It's like loving a child when, they're about to steer off track or they're not going to eat their vegetables and you love them. But it's going to hurt them because they're not going to enjoy putting that piece of cabbage in their mouth, but it helps. It's going to help them and be healthy. So sometimes Spirit wants to do the same for us. It wants to give us things that we don't really want, but Spirit knows that we need. We need that thing, and that's love. That is Spirit's love for us. But we have this idea that love is, just a fluffy thing where you get close to somebody and it feels nice. And so, we've just got to be careful. That's just some examples. I didn't want to go into that too deep. So the other thing they wanted to, was another kind of mythy sort of thing that I was told I need to speak to kind of break a belief system that can be a little bit confusing sometimes, and that's around something that's talked about a lot in the Lightworker and Twin Flame community, is the rising of the feminine. And so people have interpreted that as, in some weird way, I'll just say that this is kind of how, when I hear that, this is what I imagine. I imagine a woman rising up, and she's this powerful warrior, and she's going to come into sort of this fighting pose, and she's going to say, right, it's my turn now. You guys have wrecked the place, and now I'm going to come in and sort things out. And it's, so I just want to bust a couple of beliefs around how, that might have been presented to some people. First of all, the feminine is not a female. Okay, so that's just one thing I would just like to say. And I'm saying this too because I work with a lot of males, weirdly, funnily enough. I don't know why, but I get a lot of male clients. And I also work with several same-sex twin flame couples. And so that's why I'm really big on not buying into this overlay of feminine being a gender. Okay, so it's not a female. When we're talking about rising of the feminine, what we're actually talking about is coming more into our hearts, whether we're a male or a female, and the being in the more feminine aspect of ourselves, or being in a more feminine space, is through the heart. It's coming into more of a heart space. So again, where we in society, we've divided everything up and categorized it and been a little out of balance by being more in our minds, which has been interpreted as being more masculine, which is fine, if that's how we want to interpret it. But again, that's not necessarily a male thing. It's just a more masculine thing. And that plays out in both males and females equally when we're out of balance. So when that feminine energy is coming more into being, it is coming into both the male and the female bodies, and it is coming in as showing up as being able to access our emotions more, and to be more in our heart space and more in our heart's wisdom. So I just wanted to kind of debunk a little bit of sort of misunderstanding that may have come up around what that really means. So yeah, so I think that's kind of sums up a lot of what I wanted to talk about today. Oh yeah, just a couple more things here, just a few sort of like, it feels like I'm going to say a few more notices. So one is that I've come across this really amazing channel that I would really like to recommend to some of my listeners if you haven't already found her. Her name is Aluna, A-L-U-N-A, Ash, A-S-H, Clairvoyant, and she does some amazing transmission of amazing high-end twin flame stuff that I'd really just recommend you get on there and listen to. I'll put the link to some of her stuff below. Highly recommend her. And next was before I left New Zealand, I actually recorded a interview with some friends of mine, Rob and Colette, some beautiful beloveds that are in a twin flame relationship. And we had an interview. This is the second lot of interviews that I did. I did another interview with another couple of friends of mine, and they are Pan and Amrita, so you can go back and have a look through some of my videos if you want to find those. So that's an awesome video, and there's some really good advice in there for twin flames, and they are in union. They're in physical harmonious union together and working through a lot of amazing stuff together. They've got some really good tips for us all out there. So I wanted to just mention that that's going to be posted up pretty soon. I'm just doing a little bit of editing on that one. And then I did mention in my last video, and I have put up now, that I'm going to be offering groups and to a Facebook, sorry, it's not a Facebook group, wrong. It's a Skype group for twin flames that would like to get together and have some healing and discussion and just talk with each other. So check that out. I've got the link below to that too. It's on my website. I offer 2 different kind of options for that, whether you just want to join as a one-off, come and check it out and see what it's like kind of session, just one group, or if you wanted to join up and sort of do a regular weekly group and be part of a monthly kind of subscription type thing. So the cost for that is really reasonable. It's just $11 per group. So it's a lot more affordable way of kind of doing things, and I may offer some energy healing or reading or sessions as part of that that group. So you can get, if you are in a sort of tight financial situation and you can't afford a session, that might be a way to receive some really cool healing and support. And then the other thing, was that it? Yeah, I think that was it. So yeah, and obviously if you do want a one-to-one session with me, I meet you wherever you're at, and we can do all sorts of different things depending on what you're feeling that you need right now. I do work as a combination of all of my skills put together, so my counselling skills, my coaching skills, my healing skills, and my transmission channeling skills. I can do a reading, and just working with you wherever you're at on the journey. Sometimes we just have a nice chat, which for some people is often really helpful and all they need, because it's just being able to talk to someone that understands the craziness of what happens on this journey. I also, if you really want to do some deep, heavy work and move forward on your journey, I can be pretty tough when I need to be too, if people are wanting that. So, yeah, anyway, I will leave it there, and I'm going to send you out loads of love and loads of light, and I hope this finds you all well, and yeah, I'll catch up with you all again really soon. Bye for now.